Hey guys, what's going on? Today I'm going to be showing you a coaching session I did for a level 7 Face-It player on Mirage. I decided to start the video off with the second half of the demo since there is a lot of good information here on how you should be playing A site on CT. Then of course on T side there is a ton of useful information for lower level and higher level players. And after you watch this video and if you like the way I coach, there's a link in the description to my Medify if you want to book your own session. But yeah, before we get into the video, let's hear a quick word from today's sponsor, SkinsMonkey. SkinsMonkey is an automated trading site that allows you to take some of your old skins and trade them in for some new ones. There are a ton of skins on the site, but if you're looking for something specific, you can use the filter to find the skin that you're looking for. And when you're making your first trade on the site, make sure to use my code GREAT for a bonus of up to $5 for free. If you see a skin on the site that you want and you don't have one of equal value, you can also deposit money with a 30% bonus plus an extra 5% if you use my code GREAT at checkout. And even if you don't have anything to trade, they do free giveaways every single day, so there's literally nothing to lose by joining SkinsMonkey. So just make sure to use the link in my description and have fun trading. Okay, let's go to pistol. I think you said that you're the A player. You're usually the B player, but you've been trying to learn A. So let's see how you play A. You can really tell a player's Mirage level by how they play A site. So I want to see how you play. Okay, a little bit exposed to mid. This is a fine spot. Teammates are fighting mid. Just a little bit of like, I don't know if it's comms or you just not being aware or looking at your minimap. But it's kind of obvious that they're fighting mid here and your teammates are dying, or at least one teammate died. I don't know if they didn't calm, so maybe you're not ready to look that way and you have a teammate con, so I'm not too worried about it, but a little bit of an awareness issue here. Yeah. Okay, we know one ramp. One ramp, one mid. Last guy. Oh, wait. We had double killed? Holy. It's fine. I was going to say maybe take the 1v1, but you don't know he's 1 HP. So you might be afraid of him being like higher HP. I like the aggression. You heard him run away. Okay, yeah. Look lower. You heard him run away, and then he shift walked. In your brain, I entirely see you thinking he just ran away, and the mid player like went towards B or something. So that warrants you to be like shift walking around these angles. And just like kind of walking through. In practice, you really never want to shift walk peak angles because when you shift walk peak angles, they get like a super big advantage on seeing you before you see them in most cases, and like you're just slower. They're holding for you. You're just a slower target, right? And when you like stop, it's not as abrupt, right? When you peek into an angle and stop, it's a little bit more abrupt because they might think you're swinging because you're moving faster. But when you're shift walking, you just like kind of stop exactly where you are. And you're just an easy target to kill. So you never really want to shift walk angles. I understand why you did here, but you're just like super easy of a target, and this player's playing an off angle. I don't blame you for what you did. It's just something that you kind of want to try and never do. So in this situation, when you're just like clearing these angles, just be like a little bit more like quick here, like rounding the corner. It's hard to do in practice in every situation, but in most cases, I probably would never just like shift walk around this angle and like sweep across. I would be like coming close to the wall and like spotting out at, you know, all these angles here, like moving and jiggling it out while I move. Not like jiggling and going back behind the wall, but kind of like moving out and clearing this until I clear the corner. But it's not. I entirely understand why you did what you did. Okay, we got a deagle. Oh, nice shot. Nice try. Nice shot. Okay, let me go back to see what nades you threw. Okay, you're the A player here. No molly, that's fine. Maybe your teammate has a molly. He has a smoke. That's really bad smoke. Okay, you guys are double con. Okay. First mistake. No pre-flash over mid. As an A player or con player, either one of the two of you, usually it's the first person is going to be throwing a molly and ramp, and the second person behind the first person is throwing a flash over here to flash anyone mid. The reason you throw this flash is for anyone insta-swinging this. If you have a window player, whether it's a rifler or an op, these people will be blind swinging, and the window player will get a better chance at kills. That's why you throw a flash. You have a flash over mid thrown every single round at the start. Even though you don't have a window player here, you still throw the flash. The reason you throw the flash is because in the future, maybe not right in this pug, they're going to figure this out, but let's say you're playing, you have the idea, okay, we have a window player, or we don't have a window player, why would I throw the flash? He doesn't need it. Okay, if you do that every time you play a league match, for example, maybe the enemies will start watching your demos and they're going to say, hey, guys, if they don't throw an instant mid flash, that means there's no one window. Because every time they throw a flash over mid, they have a CT start window. Every time they don't, there's no CT window. Let's just rush mid and jump window. You know, that's like counter-shredding that could happen to you. So that's why you kind of have to keep things consistent and throw the default flash over mid. Because if you don't do it for situations where you don't have someone window, it'll be a mistake. So in general, throw the flash every round. But yeah, it's not going to affect anything here because you didn't have anyone window. Okay. Playing aggressive in sight, triple. I don't mind it. Nice. Good crosshair placement, good awareness on the lurk. Good rotate towards B. Try and bait your teammate here. Nice shot. Holy, you're kind of owning right now. Nice. Bomb planted. One unknown. One towards default. Okay, flash. Don't worry. Good. Don't worry about flashing. Just gun out. Trade your teammate. Default. Yeah, just didn't clear default. Not much to say other than just be a little bit more diligent with clearing. That's always going to be a position they can be, especially when the planter is the last person alive. So just be a little bit wary of that. You guys should win the round still, though. Your teammate mollied. No flash over mid. We need the mid flash. You're playing in sight here. Good. You peek with your teammate, taking the fight. Really good. Like, super good job. Yeah. That's perfect. Nice. No complaints at all. Okay, Molly's not good. I'm pretty sure it's going to land poorly. And even if it lands correctly, you're just throwing it way too late. So if anyone rushed, they're going to be able to be like running out. Like, they'd be running out like right now. That's around the timing when they'd be running out. And they beat your molly basically, or at least just hit the end of the ticks. And also the molly's just not good. Like if it pops back here, it gives them more time to like get out before it even spreads. It does spread because it's a T molly, but if that was a CT molly, it'd be even worse. You just need to know the lineup. I'll show you after. There's just a lineup that you need to know. Just look for this antenna right here. Aim at the top and then just run at it. And then let go when you reach like the end of these missiles. So it just lands like this. It's pretty forgiving for the most part. And the other reason that you want a good molly is because you want to make sure that no op can spot your con player crossing con. So you want the molly to land around here so it like covers the player crossing. If it lands back here, it doesn't have as much fire here, so it's easier to see a person jumping across with the op. Okay, good. You fell back. It was a little bit scary. You usually don't want to play like in sight when you're alone like that with no smoke. So it's good that you fell back, but I would rather just had you start CT instead of playing inside at all, but that's fine. Nice, you have him stuck. Nice. Really good job. Buy a molly. Sell that flash or HE and buy a molly. Especially if you're still away. What if they rushed A? You're dead. Flashed. They lamp flashed. Blind. You're stuck in sight. Only support one player. And you're dead. You're full blind. And they didn't have to smoke the molly and they didn't take any damage. You need a molly for ramp. Just fine while you have the ramp smoke up. Aiming a little bit high. This is going to give giving your position away here is not good. The thing about playing A as the A player on CT is it's a big game of hide and seek. It really is just you picking a new spot to play, whether it's ticket, triple, default, ninja, firebox, underbalk, sandwich, close apex. You picking kind of like a new spot to play, not every single round, but at least making the T's aware that you can be in these spots by changing it up every once in a while, and them having to figure it out. The worst thing you can do is give up your position like this, because if they go for an A exec or an A walk, now they know they heard you close under balk. Now they know they really don't have to worry about ticket. They can clear it when they run out. They don't have to worry about triple, really. They don't have to worry about sandwich. They know at least where one person is. And there's a good chance that that person they hear is going to be the A player, because in most cases, you're going to be solo A. So never give up your position like that with just an HE. You want to be super quiet, and especially when you're playing close. You don't want them to know where you are, because like things like this are going to happen, right? This is not good. But yeah, definitely don't give up your position like that. That is tough. That is tough. Let's go next round. You have a molly. All good. I'll show you the molly lineup after. Same issues before. Life of a Mirage anchor. Whole team dies mid, and you have no chance to play the game. So nothing wrong here. Like that's, I've been there before. Learn the molly. I'll show you the molly. Way too late. Doesn't really do much at all. Kind of dumping utility here. Not always bad, especially when you've been lurked out a lot. But really the only reason you want to dump utility, so think of it this way, right? Let's say the T's were getting ready for an A exec. Let's say they're all 5 here, 4 ramp, 1 palace. They threw a top mid smoke at the start of the round. Maybe someone threw a molly and then like went back towards A. So they're going for an A exec. If you throw no utility, they're probably just going to go ahead and throw their A exec and just go out and try and take the site. So it's good to throw utility. If you throw utility, molly, ramp, smoke palace, what are they going to do? They're going to wait out the nades. So they're going to wait out your molly, which doesn't last long. It's just like 5, 6, 7 seconds or something like that, right? I think it's like 7 seconds. And they're either going to wait out your palace smoke or they're just going to go through it with a majority ramp. Let's say they do wait out your palace smoke. Okay, they wait out your palace smoke. What does that accomplish? If you're still solo A after all these nades are gone, or at least you're still 1 person A and 1 person con, what's the point of throwing the nades? Did it stop them for 20 seconds? Yes. But did it stop them from doing the exec? Did it allow your teammates to rotate over and stack the site? No. Because why? You're throwing these nades, and what is your team not doing with these nades? They're not clearing mid. They're not fighting for mid. Your opera got a pick at the start of the round, but that's kind of whatever. He's just going for a pick. But you aren't gaining mid info and figuring out if mid is clear. So a situation where it's good to dump your nades early like this is if your team calls that they're going to go for a mid fight or a mid clear at some point in the round. So if we want to stop them from going out A early, we want to dump our smoke ramp, our palace, dump our molly as well. Make sure that we're delaying as long as we can with our nades. So after our team clears mid and sees that mid is clear and we know that they're heavy A, we're able to rotate over and stack before the T's exec because we stuffed them with our utility. That's a situation where dumping nades like this is good, but your team is not going for a mid clear. So odds are that these nades are just going to fade entirely, and you're still going to be here alone. They're out ramp, your molly's already gone, you're alone, no rotate. You see the issue? If you're going to be alone in the site like this with no support, save your nades as long as you can. Obviously throw the molly at the start of the round so you can't rush, and then just save your smoke. Even if, like, when you're solo A in situations like this, you just want to be playing ticket and jump spotting. You're alone. Things like this are pretty bad for your team because once you die with no kill, everyone over here has to turn and look this way. That leaves a big mid gap, and it's kind of your fault if this round ends up going bad. Where if you just play ticket and jump spot and then get the info there out ramp, you can call that, fall back, play passive. Yes, they can be out and your team still needs to look this way, but at least you have that information and you're still alive and you can do some sort of re-clear with your teammates and retake this info if things get quiet. But yeah, just dumping your nades for no reason and then just staying in the site is going to be probably one of the worst things you can do as an A player. And then the most important thing is just get comfortable jump spotting because you're going to be doing that a lot as the A player. Okay, you're kind of saving here. They're running out. Okay, let them run out. Just play under. This is good. It's fine. I would have played a little bit wider this whole time. Like here, you probably want to just be, instead of tucking entirely, right? So even if they didn't molly, the problem with tucking entirely like into under bulk is that if anyone comes to clear it, they're gonna pre-aim you or spam you and just peek into your angle and you're probably gonna die. Where if you play a little bit of an off angle, for one, you might catch people crossing the stairs without clearing you, where you can't do that if you're tucking. And two, if they're gonna hard clear you, you might catch them off by playing an off angle and offsetting their crosshair. And then if you get mollied, that's just like, you know, there's not much you can do. You don't have a smoke, maybe buy a smoke next time, but that's hindsight, but not really because you have money and your whole team bought. So maybe just like buy utility if you're gonna play under bulk. Kind of a small thing, but don't be afraid to just like commit into this force buy. But then once you get mollied, you kind of panic run. Like you don't have to run all the way from here to here, right? Like you don't have to expose yourself to this right away. You don't have to expose yourself to like everything, you can tick in the molly a little bit, right? It's not going to insta-kill you. So once the molly lands, like, peek out, but don't run all the way out. And then once you get, like, this first, maybe, like, get this first kill in the molly, yeah, you're going to be low from the molly, but you at least have a chance at the second. But if you're just out in the open, there's no way this guy's not going to kill you. Like, this is kind of a small thing. You're going to die anyway, but maybe you would have, if you just, like, calmed down a little bit and got this kill a little bit cleaner, you would have had a chance at the second, potentially. But there's not really much you can do there. Okay, ramp molly. Definitely need to learn. Okay, once again, dumping your smoke. Same issue as before. It does block them. It did, like, exactly my example before. It stopped them. But for what, right? Now you're just CT still. Yes, it stopped them, but it's not going to change anything. You'd rather have your smoke. If you're going to be here alone anyway, you might as well be here alone anyway with the smoke. It's not going to change much just blocking them for this much longer. Okay, this is not a bad angle. Live now. Yeah, live. You can't overcommit as the anchor. You can't overcommit to these fights. I don't hate this, like, getting out into this angle, but then as soon as you take this peek and you don't get that kill, you have to fall back and live. There can be people everywhere here. They're out A, they could be peeking you from so many positions here, and it's just not... Like, even if you get this kill and get traded, I still think it's not good. Even if you got that kill, and this is the only person in sight, it's still not good, because then you lost, like, everything. You lose all of this control. Where if you just survive CT, at least your team has a chance in the 4v4, and, like, I think you have a good chance of winning the round if you just survive with the info. But you can't really die in situations like this. You have to, as the A player, you have to play your life super hard. You are not meant to fight much as the A player. I have a whole video on how to play A that I think would actually, like, benefit you a lot because it shows you everything. I wouldn't mind if you pushed 4v5, but that's fine. This round looks like it's just gonna be a B retake. Okay, peeking up towards van. Good, jumping out the window is good here. It should probably be like the first spawn out, but you kind of noticed that your first spawn didn't jump out the window, so kind of taking that initiative is good because if just every single person scales that belt, it's gonna be way too easy for the CTs. The first person should have been the one jumping out, but it's really good that you did anyway. Okay, little bit of a pathing issue here. So when you jump out the window, your goal is going to be to take as much space as possible. Realistically, you want your teammates to be flashing over. On any sort of these B contacts, you need flashes. The only way to do what you're doing, jumping out through the window and scaling on the site, is really only possible if you have a flash landing somewhere over the site. So people jail are getting blind, potentially people playing towards get blind if the flash is deep enough. Anyone peeking back here will be getting blind. You know, there's so many spots where they can kill you from when you're jumping out the window. The only way it really works is if you have a good flash over the site. I wouldn't ever go for a B compact like this if I don't know if someone behind me has some sort of nades, some sort of flash. And if someone called to go for a B contact, be the person to buy the nades, right? Then you can kind of bait and, you know, learn the market window smoke, throw the smoke for them when they get close, and then be the one flashing over. But just going dry like this is pretty risky. Otherwise, to that, there is a bit of a pathing problem. So once you jump out here, this is good. You see this guy jail, and it's good that you don't stop and fight this guy, because if you stop here, you're gonna end up like standing in the open. There could be someone towards cat spotting you. You can get peeked from backside. But what you do here is what the problem is. So you come here, and then you go this way. So you came this way. What you really need to be doing is swinging all the way across and taking as much space as you can. So you're going to expose yourself to market window for a bit. That's why usually you want a market window smoke up. That's what, so you can scale out correctly. But if you don't have a smoke, I would still just like scale out, like strafe across, peek towards bench, turn back, peek towards cat. And you just want to try and scale the backside as fast as possible, because standing around this area is pretty bad. It's essentially the same thing as just stopping here and taking this fight. There's no difference, right? Like, just look at the pathing you took and look at the position you're in. You can get killed from Balk. You can get killed from someone van. You can get peeked from market. If someone was back site, they could also see you. If anyone's playing back here, they'd be able to peek and see you. You are safe from the cat player. That's probably like one of the only things you're safe from, but you're not safe from anyone bench. Any of these angles, right? So just kind of like stopping in this area right here is pretty bad. That's why you just have to kind of take some risks and just swing across and just get as much space as possible, because odds are you're going to be able to like make it all the way over here. And you can just like spam with the Glock as you're running. And then once you get into positions like this, you have more favorable fights, right? Like being able to peek around this to kill kill people backside, being able to like hold for anyone trying to jump out market or come through door. If anyone comes up cat late, you're going to be in a good spot to hold that. But just like playing within this spot right here is pretty bad. But overall, you definitely needed a flash over. You guys need flashes on B contacts like this. So it's not entirely your fault. Just when you're scaling out as someone jumping out the window, make sure you don't ever just like stop here and turn around and like try and scale towards cat. Because even if you made it to this pillar, what's the next step? You already know someone's sight. So you have to be worried about this guy fighting you sight. So you can't turn this way and like fight the cat player. You know someone's sight, and you can't just stand in here and hold for the sight guy. You might as well just like swing across and try and spot him this way instead of just like stopping here. All good. That round was a little weird. You guys had 2 AFKs and no flashes, no smoke. Okay, we're going into a force. You're the only one who didn't full buy. You have no armor Mac 10, so this is definitely weird. I don't know if that's a mistake. You bought Tech 9, you sold your Tech 9, didn't pick back up your Glock, and you forgot to buy armor, I think. I'm gonna assume you just forgot to buy armor, but if you're not buying armor with a Mac 10, like there's no reason to not buy armor here. And then there's no reason to not buy a smoke flash. Like, just fully commit into the buy, right? If you're going to force on the second round, just fully commit into buy. Buy armor, buy a smoke, buy a flash. Just get committed into this round. Yeah, there's no reason to save any money. Even if you forgot to buy armor, you forgot to buy nades. So just full commit. Round's a little weird. You guys are fighting. Oh, no, you got pushed mid? So I just want to see how you guys died here. No, we were fighting mid. That was glitched. So kind of a mistake from your teammate, or kind of just a useless smoke. Not really a mistake. I mean, because it's not going to ruin the round. But what's the point in throwing a market window smoke if we're going out mid? And this is happening at the same time. If anything, you'd want like the market window smoke fake to come first while you hide mid. And then when the smoke pops, it might call the cat player over back to B because he's worried, the B player's worried about some sort of B hit. But as soon as like these mid players die and you guys aren't actually going B, there's just no point with the smoke. So it's just like a weird smoke to throw. That's not you. Just make sure you're never throwing util like that. If you had armor, you'd probably get that kill. You didn't make really any mistake there. If you just had armor, I think you'd probably actually get that. Nice try, nice try. That round was a little weird. You guys are buying into this again? No, you're the only one buying. Yeah, go back and sell. You need to get on the same page as your teammates? Okay, you went back and sold. That's good. Okay, there's mid pressure, mid fight. Just be a little bit more thorough with this. I think they smoked off ramp, so you might not be expecting someone here. Not sure where this smoke came from. I think that's one of them, right? Looks like it. So you might have thought that there was no one in ramp, and you still kind of checked it. So I understand not full clearing this. But in general, it's always just best practice to clear everything you can as well as you can. As long as it doesn't deter you from getting out somewhere faster if you need to be fast to like go out A site. Like if your teammates are like coming up connector for a split, don't take forever to full clear every single angle, right? You need to just get out to the site and help them. But in situations like this where there's no real hurry, like you guys aren't coming up for a split, you guys are just group ramp together. And then when you peek this, you see a smokes here, so you know you have like free reign to just like, okay, there's a smoke here, I can just come here and peek the corner. Take your time, there's no rush. Just a really small detail, but it could help you in a lot of situations, right? But you guys are winning this round somehow. But oh, I thought you guys won. Con smoke. Do you guys throw, okay, instant window and con smoke. That's good, your con smoke hit. Let me go back and see what you did after the con smoke. Con smoke. I would throw some sort of flashes here. Whenever you're like the third player or a player throwing a smoke from further back, whether you throw the top mid smoke, throw a window smoke from here, or throw a con smoke, either come here and throw a window flash. Sometimes you're too late to throw a window flash and you might end up blinding your team. So, or blinding your teammates. So if you're not going to throw a window flash, like the one that lands over here to try and blind any one window, or, you know, anyone like jumping into valley or peeking off cat. If you're not going to go throw that flash, what you can do is just come here, and I'll show you after, and just throw your flash behind the box so it lands like here. And that flash will never blind your teammates, right? Because they're swinging this way, it'll land behind the box. And if potentially any of the CTs jumped into mid to push towards mid and like along this wall, or if anyone jumped cat, this flash will blind them entirely, so it's a really good supporting flash, and it doesn't hurt to throw. Usually, that'll be the person in your role exactly, right? Like the third player out mid, these two people can gun out after throwing their initial nades, and then just throw like a good support flash for them. Okay, nice. So we kill cat player. We have con smoked, window smoked. Our reactions should either be to speed up cat to try and get to the solo B player. It's either to speed up cat to go to the solo B player that we, you know, can kind of assume is solo B if we kill someone cat. Usually it's like one cat, one B, or sorry, one cat, one B, one window, one con, one A. That's like a standard setup, and we can kind of gamble, not really gamble, but just play the percentages, right? Like that's a standard setup that's gonna happen probably a majority of the rounds. So if we ever kill a cat player, there's a really good chance that if we just go up cat, it's gonna be a solo B player with the rotate coming in through market. So I want to see how you guys react. Okay, not really remolling your teammate. That's kind of unlucky. Still not up cat. Okay, taking ladder space is good. This is fine. Just a little bit messy here towards mid. I think even if your molly hit, like, kind of landed, it would just get put out by the smoke. So definitely be careful about how you're throwing that. And use some molly for your teammate. But it's good to get in the ladder. I would have liked to see you guys just react B. It's a pug, and you can kind of take those gambles a little bit more. So I would have liked to see just like a B react. That's fine. Actually, the second best thing is probably what you did, getting into ladder. Obviously, you could have done a little bit safer. But getting into ladder is pretty strong because you can kind of get a line on jungle, maybe get a kill here when the window smoke fades. And your teammates can then go up con. You know, as you take that fight towards jungle, you can drop window late, you know, be just a nuisance. It's either that or you play super quiet mid. So either you react B or you kill noise entirely mid, force them to kind of rotate one over to B because they're going to be wary that you can be up cat. And then you go up con late into 2A. But you guys are being pretty noisy in mid. So they have no reason to rotate B, right? This guy's kind of fine here. They've been able to like spot towards con. I think they've had the cat gap, so I would have liked to see you guys just run up cat, but that's fine. It's not going to punish you. You have a flash. That flash is not going to do anything. If you see where this lands, right, the only person this would ever blind is someone standing on the steps like this, right? And that's not really the angle you're looking to blind. The angles you're looking to blind are people really here, sight, and that's about it. So if anything, when you're standing here and you want to flash that and go cat, just flash over. Flash over. This flash won't blind this person, but if you're here, you can just peek or spot, like jiggle out that like close wall. And if no one's there, boom, throw the flash over, blind this sight player, and then you can run up. But yeah, that flash lands way too low here that it won't blind like any angle really at all. Pretty lucky that you got up cat there though. Okay, now they know you're up cat. Your teammate should not be walking. And he should not be throwing a market window smoke. He should just be running to help you. Yeah. Just go E-box here. You got into a really good spot here. Just sit E-box. Sit here. If anything, just like take a peek a little bit more this way to see if you can spot a potential B player because you don't know if B site's clear. But it's either he's hiding on site somewhere or he's market. That's like the only two options, right? You came from cat, so he's either site or there's one market. Or there's no one here. But we can probably like assume that there's either one playing on site, and if there's not one on site, they saw us go up cat, there's going to be a market rotate. So if we just take the fight to them, it's not bad. It's not bad to take the fight to them. You're in 2v3. So it's okay to equalize. So either you're going to sit E-box, wait for the smoke, and then, you know, maybe just like help clear the site in case there's a B site player. Or you just need to take this fight a little bit better. Just standing on this angle's not good for you at all because this player is going to be able to like peek into you off his timing and you're just standing in the open, right? You have no cover. Any place he puts his crosshair here, it's going to be pretty much directly on you because he's just going to peek the window, his crosshair's on you, and then you have to react to him. And you're probably going to lose that engagement every time. Like this kill probably looks so easy from his perspective. Yeah, like you got a shot off, but it's impossible to react to that. It's tough for you to like put your crosshair at the correct height, right? Like he could come up close and like peek from close, peek from like further back. It's tough to get that fight down. So if you're going to take this fight, try and like jiggle out these angles. If anything, just like jiggle out market a little bit more. Swinging is an option, but you're 30 HP. And once again, like if you swing this angle, it's hard to tell like where he is along this path, right? So swinging isn't really an option here. It's a little bit risky and you're low. So what I would do is if my teammate's throwing this market window smoke, just wait for it. Wait for the smoke, maybe peek when it's about to pop. That's a good timing to peek. But I would just play my life a little bit more here. It is a pretty tough situation though, so I don't blame you for trying to get something done. What did you buy at the start of this round? Okay, what's more useful in a round? A smoke or 2 flashes? Now, if your whole team had 0 flashes, maybe 2 flashes are okay to buy. But you guys have 2 flashes, and you have 2 people who could sell HEs and get flashes. Um, Obviously, that's hard to communicate in a pug, but in most cases, I would probably prefer a smoke over 2 flashes, especially if I see my team at least has like a couple. Unless you were doing something very specific with your flashes, right? Like if you need them for some sort of like fast cat, you're going to be flashing into con. Maybe your teammate called, flash me into con, or you're doing some sort of B pop. Most cases, I would rather have a smoke, but I'll see how you use your flashes and see if you had like some sort of plan with them. But in most cases, smokes are more powerful. Yeah, you didn't even use one mid here. Like exactly what I said. This flash would have been so strong against this player. He ended up dying, but just it eliminates the entire threat if you throw a flash behind the box because he's just entirely blind. Your teammates can peek with the flash. It's pretty OP. Okay. Stay mid. Looks like it's not gonna matter, but you see how you didn't even throw your flashes at all, right? So you played this whole round, got all the way to here without throwing any of the flashes you bought, without buying a smoke. And it's not bad. I'm not saying you would have thrown a smoke anyway. It's tough to explain, but it's really just there's probably more opportunities to use a smoke than 2 flashes, especially when you're in a pug. Unless you're Stewie 2K and you're gonna be like right clicking through a smoke. In a post plant, if you ended up getting here, let's say you like got here, you ended up in this position, but it's like a 3v3 or 3v2. A smoke from here would be really good to have for like, or like smoking top con behind you for you to plant towards mid, re-smoking towards jungle later in the round, maybe throwing a smoke towards spawn to delay. Whereas like flashes, they're tougher to coordinate and use. They're not bad, but unless you have a super specific plan in pugs, or even league matches for your flashes, I wouldn't buy them over a smoke, especially if my team already has a couple or has the ability to buy more than what we have already. Next round, no molly this round. Again, I would rather you have a molly. So either sell a flash and buy a molly, or sell the HE and buy a molly. But molly is definitely important to have here. Yeah, you can't sell, but just drop your flash over. So just drop your teammate your flash or someone, and then just buy a molly. Okay, you didn't want to peek with bomb. Right here, it's like, you want to drop bomb. I understand why you don't want to peek with bomb, but if your teammate's fighting, you need to be ready to trade like right away, so the timing's all like pretty messed up. So either drop the bomb earlier, and that just comes with like, maybe you weren't aware of the fact that you had bomb. Either drop bomb earlier, or don't even worry about having bomb at this point. The only reason you would ever drop bomb and not take a fight, it's really only if you're kind of isolated and alone towards a position. And if the CTs kill you and like get the bomb here, it's pretty bad when you're alone and your team is all grouped up somewhere else, right? But if your team's already like all over here, you had 3 people towards A, you're already committing to a fight, it's pretty apparent that you guys are trying to go A, and there's no really fake happening. You guys are, maybe one person died mid and there was one person that threw nades. It's not horrible if you peek with bomb here. Again, it's better if you don't peek with bomb, but you just had to drop it earlier than dropping it now. At this point, you're already too committed and you have to help your teammate fight. If you had a molly, you can molly triple right now and that'd be huge. Good awareness that someone could peek you from stairs. It could have happened earlier, but it didn't. Okay, you're aiming really high here. There's no one that's going to peek that high up. You're aiming a little bit too high there, I think, still. Yeah, you re-grab bomb. Okay. Probably could go for more of a burst or spray there. I think you kind of like, you like 2 tap, like tap, 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 tap. It's a little, yeah, a little bit shaky. At this distance, I would be more confident in your spray. I don't know if you have reason to not be confident in your spray, but it's okay to go for like a burst, like more of a commitment to the fight. Like the only way you kill him in this situation is if all your taps hit or you hit a headshot. Whereas that was like a really easy kill if you just spray him down. This box is also very spammable, so you can kind of just like spray him down and then spray through the box. So definitely a kill that you could have gotten if you committed harder to the fight. Just a little bit shaky, but that's just mechanics, right? That'll just come with time. That's mechanics. Like, funny enough, mechanics and aim and decision making when it comes to gunfights, it's some of the easiest solutions to find. Like, I can tell you what you need to do. Like, there, obviously, I can say, you needed to spray that guy and kill him. It's so easy for me to say that, right? It's one of the hardest things to get down, and it just takes time. Because you know what, you can know what you have to do. Like, you can watch this back and say, yeah, I should have sprayed that guy down. But when you're in a game, you're not always going to be 100% on your spray. Especially when you're, you know, like a newer player or a lower level player. So it just comes with like more time playing and training aim. So I'm not going to always bring that up. Like, obviously you can tell when you just whiffed, right? Nice try though. Let me see how you play this 1v3. Nice shot. Nice shot. The only thing I wish you didn't do here was just insta swing. I think it's a little bit of a panic thing. So, you know, this player, you know one is stairs. Maybe we don't know the other. Let's assume we don't know the third. Insta kill. Best case scenario, you swing out and peek here. You're exposing yourself to bottom stairs and top stairs. So you're forcing yourself to potentially have to flick up for a kill with 5 bullets and 30 HP, and you have a minute on the clock and you just got to kill. So the best case scenario here is you get this kill and you kind of tuck back and you hear them swinging, and then you're able to maybe like get some crazy shots on these players swinging into you with 5 bullets, right? It's still low percentage chance of winning the round, but it's definitely higher percent chance than just like swinging into the open to potentially someone's top stairs, bottom stairs, or exactly what happened. So either you're just swinging into the open with, you know, no chance of killing any of these players. Like, look, your bullet went in between them because you can't pre-aim this when you're swinging around the corner, right? You don't know where to put your crosshair. They're standing in the open. So just take your time a little bit more. You have plenty of time. That's the only thing. Try and isolate more fights. In a perfect world, they don't swing. Let's say they like, in a perfect world for us, and they made the correct play, but let's say they made a mistake and played back. In a perfect world, if we just like take our time, after we got the first kill, we're able to sit here, jiggle this out. Okay, no one's pushing me, reload. Then we can like come top Tetris, kind of isolate this top stairs fight, make sure they're not bottom stairs, isolate some fights towards jungle. But if we just insta swing out for the fights, we're not giving ourselves a chance for, we're not giving them a chance to make mistakes. We're kind of forcing them to make the right play. At least here, if it looks like they might have even made a mistake. So if you played back, there's a chance that their spacing's bad, which it kind of is, and you get a 1v1 here, and then you have like a couple bullets left, and then you get another 1v1. Again, low chance, but at least you're giving them a chance to make a mistake. Here, you force them into both fighting you instead of giving them a chance to make the mistake. So just take your time a little bit more. But nice try. Con coming towards B. Teammate lurked out. Nice. Good plan for cat. Like, really good plan for cat. Only small, super small detail. I just want to see. So you guys get the kill. You see double here. You get 2 kills B. Really smart to plan for cat. I know so many people, like, I mean, legit people in my high level 10 lobbies just won't even recognize that cat's clear and plant default, and it's just way worse of a plant. The only thing that is different is that I just wish you planted a little bit further this way. Only because when you plant a little bit further this way, it's a good plant for, it's a better plant for the apps player and the cat player. Because if you plant further this way, the CTs could diffuse here without being able to be seen from this second window. So just a little bit further this way and you're good, but they're probably like gonna save anyway, so it's not a big deal. But really good that you planted for cat here. Yep, and then you go back towards B. Just wish the plant, if you're gonna play here, the plant needs to be a little bit better. They're gonna go for it actually. Okay, no, he's saving. Nice. Really good round. Okay, window smoke. Cat smoke? Interesting. Cat smoke. Interesting. It's not like a bad smoke. I just question the structure of the round here. Because while these smokes existing do, like, if these smokes both land and the CTs sit behind the cat smoke and this window player just sits behind the window smoke and they're really scared of you being out mid because they're behind 2 smokes. Yes, these smokes are good, but what are you guys missing? When you go mid as T's, do you ever throw 2 smokes, 0 flashes, 0 mollies, and make zero noise? No, never, right? You're not going to throw 2 smokes and then just like shift walk out late. So if I'm on the CT side here, I'm going to see this window smoke and I'm going to see this cat smoke and I'm going to be like a connector player or a cat player. And I'm going to say, yo, they threw smokes mid, but they like, there's nothing out. There's no flashes. It's quiet mid. Even if I'm behind the smoke, I would just say like careful sights. So if you're going to be throwing some sort of like mid pressure, you need to have someone go towards mid and at least like throw a molly connector, throw a flash into valley, maybe throw the flash I was showing before, just anything at all. So it's not so predictable. Like the CTs can't predict it super easily. So just make sure you're throwing some sort of mid pressure that's not just smokes. Because it's way too obvious you guys are going towards A. I don't think it really mattered in this round because the CTs weren't even mid anyway, but just for the future. Nice shot on stairs. Okay, I like this regroup back towards B. Ooh, they had really good timing on the flash. Okay, nice kill. You know someone flashed for him though, right? Like we should kind of be aware of this, I think. Maybe you don't know that. Never mind. You definitely don't know that. That could have been anything. You don't know it. This player might, but there's a good chance he didn't call that someone else was here that flashed for him. So never mind. Maybe you just think he like right-click flashed himself. Yeah, it's tough to expect this person close right here. With X-ray, it's easy, but you know everything's easier with X-ray. Okay, good nade purchase. Lurking towards B. Just make sure you don't like die with full nades here. I mean, it's not bad. One thing about being a lurk, so on either side of the map here, either a B lurk or an A lurk, whether you're palace or ramp, doesn't matter. Most of the time on these sides of the map, you're not going to need your smoke alone. You're not going to really need a smoke to throw. Like, let's say you lurked out and then you get up to B. You don't really need your smoke. You don't really need your smoke upper B to take fights. And towards A, you really don't need your smoke late round, like sitting around palace or something. Like, obviously, there's ways to use your smoke. Like, you can throw smokes from here for, like, top con jungle. You can throw a market window smoke from outside on site. It's not that you can't use the smoke. It's just that your smoke is way more useful in another position. What happens is you'll have teammates. So first of all, you literally have, that's crazy. You literally have the only smoke on your team and you're bringing it upper B and you're not even throwing it. So first of all, you should probably just be throwing a mid smoke. Well, first of all, your teammates should be buying some sort of nades. It's crazy no one else bought any nades. But anyway, your smoke is not as useful towards upper B as it will be useful towards mid. So even if we have a window smoke at the start of the round and we get out mid, we're going to have to throw a re-smoke on window. Once we re-smoke window, if someone makes the call to go up cat, we're going to have to throw a smoke towards con or a smoke cat rail. And if we have if we run out of smokes towards mid and we only have 2 smokes left and they're on the A lurk and the B lurk, we're not able to do anything with our mid control. So it's just a little bit more useful towards mid and also your team trolled by not buying any nades at all. So it's not really your fault, but usually I would just drop my smoke over to my teammates. Okay, I don't hate the lurk out. Like, I think this is a good play. I just think you need to be a little bit better about how you're clearing things. So this is like #1 biggest mistake I see with so many people. It's walking into angles when your crosshair is in no man's land. So right here, you're kind of walking out to clear the site and all these positions the CTs could be. But right here, you're exposed to bench and you're exposed to market, you know, backside peak, default peak, and your crosshair isn't on any of them. You move it towards market. Let me go in slow motion for you, actually. Kind of just like slow motion how you're clearing the site here. Okay. Kind of clear towards van. Peek towards market. You know, we're walking out. We can get peeked. There can be a player right here. Our crosshair is not actually on the angle. Crosshair still just aiming at a wall. There could be a person here this entire time. It's a very common CT position. This guy just takes a shot from cat. This whole time, anyone could be bench holding you or spotting you. Your crosshair's not actually on bench. It's on the wall. You still haven't cleared bench. You still can get peeked from back here. and your crosshair's aiming at a wall here. Now you look towards cat. Again, can still be getting peeked from sight. Anyway, not to like harp on it, but you understand what I'm saying. You're kind of exposing yourself a lot here, where you need to be more methodical with how you're peeking all these angles, and that comes with time and mechanics. But what you really need to be doing, instead of like walking out and just like swiping your crosshair across the site as you're walking out, because this is not going to work. If anyone's holding any of these off angles on site, like literally any angle, he's going to have the advantage on you because you're walking into his crosshair. And the only advantage you have is if you hard clear his angle and take like the peek into him. But if you're just like walking into his angle and swiping your crosshair, and like let's say there was someone playing this angle that I was talking about, like right here, and your crosshair is on like in this wall basically, and you walk into his angle, you're having to stop and flick over, and he's going to kill you before you even stop. You have to be peeking into these off angles and scaling out. So it looks more like we walk up here, we clear van, we maybe like peek this off angle here towards bench, peek site, peek like cap default, you know, peek this market angle or like a backside angle, walk up. Okay, we're in the windows. Now we peeked market, so we kind of take a gamble that we're not going to get peeked from there. Peek the off angle back sight. Okay, we can move closer here, peek cat, walk up on this wall, clear cat. Now once we're here, if we cleared cat, we can look towards bench, peek bench, walk out and clear sight. It's hard to show in the spectator mode, but make sure that you're never just like walking around through a position like this and just like swiping your crosshair across the angles, because it's going to end up getting you killed on these lurks. You have to be very methodical, especially on B when there's so many off angles they can play. Oh, I think you looked at your mini map probably, huh? Oh, nice recovery. Yeah, it looks like you looked at your mini map or something. You just a little bit of a delay. But good lurk, good position, a little bit of a whiff, but you know that happens. We all whiff. Obviously, we want to minimize the amount of times we whiff. And that's probably another situation where you can go for a spray, right? It's not bad to go for a spray or a little bit more of a committed burst, but that just comes with a little bit of mechanics training. Okay, one gets out market. Okay, not a bad flash. Nice peek. Okay, we know where he is. He's towards market. Okay, nice. You repositioned. Nice. It's all good. Really good job. Like, that was a big round from you. You definitely won your team that round by getting that B-lurk out. No smoke? Why? Why no smoke? Flash, no smoke. Again, buy a smoke, buy a smoke. 100% better to have a smoke here. Doesn't even matter if you're going for a B rush. Smoke is still better. Still, sell a nade, buy a smoke. Good flash. Like, really good flash. The only thing you can add to this, if you have two flashes, so like just sell your HE and have two flashes, throw the initial like bounce off the wall if you can learn that, because that's also really good for catching anyone. And then like throw the mid-sight flash. The only reason that you kind of want to have this bounce flash is because when you're throwing this mid-sight flash, really good flash by the way, this is a perfect like rush flash, you're kind of exposing yourself before the flash pops. Like it takes a second for the flash to pop and you're going to be running through the windows before it pops. But if you throw the one that bounces insta through the window, it'll blind this player that's trying to hold you, so you have time to like run out into the open. Whereas like this player probably like sees you. Like he has a chance to kill you here. If he traced you better through like being blind, if it was a better player, he probably kills you, where he'd be in full blind the whole time if you threw the insta flash. But really good flash. Okay, let's see your scaling. Really good job. Nice. Great scaling. Gun out, gun out, gun out, gun out, gun out, gun out, gun out. Okay. Obviously, I have X-ray and I can see this person's jumping through the smoke. But your position is like probably the most important right now on this site. You are the contact. You are the contact player. Your teammates are like kind of fighting towards market, but you are the contact for anyone trying to come out through door. You are the contact for anyone trying to jump out window. You need to have your gun out at least until it's entirely safe for you to like pull out your molly for some reason. But you need to make sure that everything is solid until you're pulling out a molly like this. I think this is pretty unlucky, so I'm not gonna like harp on this too much, because there's probably situations where I pulled out a molly just like this, because there's no way he's gonna jump through the market window smoke, right? So it's not the biggest deal. But when you're in like a position like this, where it's like the anchor position, like you are the person that needs to be like ready for contact at any moment, just be a little bit more careful. But it's not the biggest deal. It's kind of crazy the play he makes. Yeah, like here's the molly in the open. Surely he gets traded. Okay, at least he gets traded. Again, probably flash behind boxes here when you're running out. Nice shot. Wow, this is an easy round. Nice smoke. Just cross. Molly behind it if you want. Where are you mollying? Okay. Yeah, it wouldn't be bad to like throw your molly through the smoke like in the jungle just to make sure there's no chance of him coming through, burn him away, make him like fall back into your teammates, maybe. But it's okay if you don't molly. Your smoke is good. Good plant. All good. Con smoke again. Your util knowledge is like really good. Good. You recognize that you need bomb. W. I love seeing people like recognize that you need to grab bomb there instead of just like droning out B. It's a really good job. A little bit of a weird plant. I've never seen anyone plant in this position before. I would just plant like I said before, just plant like normal for cat. Maybe you were afraid of them being cat. No, you shouldn't be. We just came from cat. A little bit of a weird plant. Maybe you were trying to play for market, but it's whatever. You guys are gonna win the round anyway. Nice. Good off.